I started to have pelvic floor issues
Okay.
and just like muscle wastage and a lot of subcutaneous facial fat. I don't really know how to pronounce that word, but the
Yep.
lipodystrophy, facial fat
Yep.
melting off
Same
my
thing.
face.
Yep.
Yeah, it really just changed the entire shape of my face and also all over my body, right?
Mhm.
So I have just really strange cellulite and weird skin and extreme weight gain. I gained 30 pounds during this whole ordeal. And then also, it seems as though, so I went to the dentist and I have a lot of what seems like I have bone reabsorption in my jaw
Really.
that is new. And they talked about maybe a bone graft,
Mhm.
but I didn't say that it was from the finasteride, but in my head, I was like, gee, like this is kind of sudden. I wonder if it's from the finasteride.
In today's interview, we're hearing from Cassie, the first woman to share her experience with post-finasteride syndrome on this channel. She went from being sharp, active, and full of life to facing changes that have impacted her health in every way. Her story is raw, it's tough, and it shows that PFS isn't only something men deal with. I'm sure there are more women out there quietly going through this, and I hope hearing Cassie's voice makes them feel less alone. Let's get into it. Having said that, I guess we can take it from the top. I mean, what is your story? What was your life like before you developed post-finasteride syndrome?
So I was very active and very high energy and just sharp mentally. I had an excellent memory. I was I work in mental health, so I was
Okay.
in a inpatient facility
Mhm.
where I would run around all day long and then go to the gym. Um, I was a lifter, so I was strong, you
Mhm.
know. And I was really, really happy, right? I think
Right.
that was really the main thing that stood out was I was like a really happy person, maybe too happy, right?
Sure.
Always
Sure.
laughing and yeah, so and that's really just the way I was my whole life.
I feel like this hits us at like the prime of our lives. You know, everything is going so well for us. Our careers are going well. Maybe our love lives are going well. And then all of a sudden we take this medication and everything just kind of goes downhill. It's really wild. So, you started taking finasteride for hair loss, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, I did. I was not eligible for spironolactone because the minoxidil I had taken had damaged my body and my
Mhm.
liver enzymes or kidney, both liver and kidney were doing poorly. And
Mhm.
so the dermatologist I was seeing said, I'll just put you on finasteride.
Okay. So just going back to the minoxidil real quick, you got that from hers. That's correct.
Hmm.
And you
Yeah.
said it was 7%, I think.
Yeah, it was a mixture. So they do put 7% in there and they put,
Mhm.
I don't know how to pronounce, kentacosanol or something in there.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking
A
about. Yep.
couple, yeah. So it's just this mixture and it's topical and you just put it, and I think I followed the directions, but yeah, it did feel like too much.
I don't know what the legalities are with compounding all these different, types of compounds, to be honest with you. Minoxidil, finasteride with, spironolactone, whatever it might be, right? Ketoconazole or something like that, I think is that.
I don't know how to pronounce
Yeah,
it.
I don't know how to pronounce it either, but I think it's something like that. So you took that first. Was that, how soon before you took finasteride did you take the minoxidil?
Sorry, I have, so I can, my
Oh, all
critical
good.
thinking is really,
No, no,
really
take your
delayed.
time. I get it. It's fine.
Um, so I took finasteride after I quit taking the minoxidil,
Okay.
right? I was taking a very high dose of saw palmetto
Hmm.
pretty much throughout. And then I took the finasteride in, I think, like maybe the end of February.
Okay.
And it was a 1 milligram. She gave me a month's worth, but I
Hmm.
took 1 milligram only for about a week. And then I started to get pretty bad, just like insomnia and feeling really strange
Hmm.
right away.
Hmm.
And then I was just breaking the pills in half.
Okay.
And I did that just inconsistently. I was like, I don't want all my hair to fall out again, but I also don't really want to take this the way it's prescribed. So I'm just going to sort of try to teeter off it,
Sure.
wean off of it a little bit. So I did that for, I think the weaning off of it I did for like a month,
Okay.
maybe a little over a month.
Okay. And you got the finasteride from a dermatologist that you actually went to, correct?
Yes, it was prescribed by a PA. She was just like, I'll give you this instead. Yeah. She said there was virtually no side effects. She said to me that the spironolactone had really serious side effects
Hmm.
that would that I wouldn't be able to tolerate. But if I took finasteride, the only thing would be that I would lose like libido and that I couldn't get pregnant, and then otherwise I'll be fine.
That's all she told you was just the sexual side effects, nothing else, nothing
Yeah.
physical, no neurological issues or anything.
No.
So you took the one
No.
milligram, you said temporarily, I think for a week, you started cutting it up in smaller doses. And how long did
Hmm.
you take the smaller doses for?
So I took about half a dose for a few weeks, and then
Okay.
I took 1/4 for another couple weeks,
Okay.
inconsistently.
Okay. I got you. So how long in total did you take the medication for then?
Okay, so I think I took the medication in total for about a month and 13 days.
A month and 13 days. Okay. So roughly what, 6 weeks then? I mean, very short term exposure then
Yeah.
overall.
Hmm.
So you came off because of the side effects then?
Yes, because of the
Okay.
side effects. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened then when you came off? Did you feel better temporarily? Did things get worse?
No, I felt great. I felt much
Okay.
better. I felt
Okay.
great. I
Hmm.
was like, my skin was starting to bounce back.
Hmm.
I felt awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and then like 3 months passed,
Hmm.
and I started getting hit with these crazy side effects
Hmm.
that, well, for just the complete loss of energy.
Hmm.
Just, I lost all my energy and motivation.
Yeah.
And then my skin started bunching up. It was the most bizarre thing ever. Like you can just pull it. Like this skin right
Mm.
here is like really elastic and
I can relate to
strange.
that. Yep. I can
Yeah.
relate entirely.
And I just had like pain everywhere. My joints were cracking. I have such cognitive problems that I'm gonna have to look at the notes
No, that's okay.
that
No, do what you need to.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very difficult. The cognitive decline, I think, is the most worrying just because it's going to get in the way of my livelihood, right?
Yeah,
And that started
absolutely.
after 3 months as well.
And we can take this out if you don't want this in there. I think you said you're a caseworker. Is that correct?
I am. I
Okay.
am. I do specialized casework called retention.
Okay.
So my job is to keep people who have experienced homelessness in housing.
Okay. I think that's awesome. Number one, that's a great career. But
Thank
that
you.
requires a lot of, I guess, mental strain on your end too. You know, you're basically taking care of other people while you're sick at the same time. So I know how
Yes,
difficult that is.
it's I don't know how sustainable it is.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
because you really do. So like at a nonprofit, usually you do have like a big caseload.
Hmm.
It's work that people commonly don't flock to as much. So you kind of have a lot, you're short staffed, you have a really big caseload. So you have to have a lot of mental dexterity.
Yeah.
You're applying people to a lot of benefits. You're doing a lot of different things. You also have to play caregiver, take them to doctor's appointments. And I cannot keep track anymore. I
I trust me, I get
can't
that.
do it.
It's incredibly tough. Yeah, you don't feel like you have the same level of competency as you once had with all this. So I guess going back to the medication, you came off. You're dealing with all this fatigue, these joint issues, and then did anything else start to develop after that?
Yeah. So hold on. So yeah, I started to have pelvic floor issues
Okay.
and just like muscle wastage and a lot of subcutaneous facial fat. I don't really know how to pronounce that word, but the
Yeah.
lipodystrophy, facial fat
Yep. I've had
melting
the
off
same
my
thing.
face.
Yep.
Yeah, it really just changed the entire shape of my face and also all over my body, right?
Hmm.
So I have just really strange cellulite and weird skin and extreme weight gain. I gained 30 pounds
Mm,
during this whole ordeal. And then also, it seems as though, so I went to the dentist and I have a lot of what seems like I have bone reabsorption in my jaw
really?
that is new. And they
Hmm.
talked about maybe a bone graft,
Hmm.
but I didn't say that it was from the finasteride, but in my head, I was like, gee, like this is kind of sudden. I wonder if it's from the
Right.
finasteride.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think the one woman who spoke out about spironolactone on this channel here, she had the same thing. She had like jaw recession, a change to her jaw structure. And I don't know if you have this. My face is kind of thinned out. I'm not sure if you've experienced that yourself. It's thinned out, also gotten puffy at the same time. It's a
Yeah.
really it's like the
Yeah.
structure is completely changed. And I
Hmm.
so you had that, and then I mean, you didn't tell the dentist about finasteride, but you were kind of speculating that maybe finasteride was causing possibly that change.
Yeah. They were like, how come this looks different from before? You might
Mhm.
have maybe osteoporosis or something. Get that checked out. That's very alarming.
Wow.
And they're like, maybe we'll do a bone graft.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. So I had switched insurance because I'd moved to a different city in a different county.
Okay.
And I just recently started going back. So I'm going to have a full body x-ray. So
Okay.
they're going to do a battery of tests,
Okay.
but I'm going to see how bad the damage is. I think just the cognitive problems, that the lack of being able to problem solve or critical thinking skills
Hmm.
is, I think, really just the worst part of it, and the
Yeah.
depression.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because that affects every aspect of your life. I mean, whether you're socializing with people, you're having a conversation, you're going to work. I mean, everything is affected by that. And then everything else, in my opinion, all the physical issues on top of that just compounds it and makes it that much worse, you know? Um, One question I do have, this is interesting because when I started taking finasteride back in 2021, I don't think it was prescribed to women at that point. I don't think women were allowed to even take finasteride. I mean, have you ever heard that? For years I was told women, especially pregnant women, couldn't even come in contact with finasteride. Have you ever heard that?
I do know that it is incredibly uncommon. I think that it's just starting to become more common for
I would
some
agree.
reason,
Yeah.
but it is incredibly uncommon. I really don't know why um, she went ahead and made that call, but I do see on forums that a lot of women are being prescribed finasteride
Mhm.
and dutasteride
Yeah.
as well. And some people don't have any negative reaction to it, and
Sure.
that's great.
Yeah.
But I do think it's weird that they would prescribe it to women because that's not common.
I would agree with you. There's one particular site, I think it's called Musley, and they actually
Hmm.
have something called the hair pill, and they prescribe it's like dutasteride mixed with minoxidil and maybe even spironolactone specifically to women. And I saw that a couple of years ago, and I was kind of shocked. I'm like, well, I didn't think women were allowed to even take these 5-AR inhibitors, or they're not encouraged to, at least. Uh, so whether you go through a dermatologist yourself or you go to one of these online telehealth companies, it seems like you pretty much have the potential to get exposed to this because they sell it so easily too. It's
Yeah.
really wild to me. Um, Let me see here. I just want to go down my list of questions. And just so you know, my brain fog is bad too, so I completely understand. I have a list here of all the questions I got to go through, and sometimes I forget even where I'm supposed to be. So, if you don't mind me asking, so what are all your current symptoms? You mentioned the loose skin, you mentioned the cognitive
Hmm.
dysfunction, the pelvic floor issues, or joint issues, muscle loss. Anything else that you've experienced?
Yeah, just extreme depression,
Yeah.
suicidal ideation,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah.
It is pretty bad. I think the inability to control my emotions, like I've been caught breaking down and crying like at
Sure.
my desk,
Yeah.
which that's not cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's pretty bad. I just have horrible pain in my joints. So I if I bend down or do really any
Mhm.
movement, it's very audible. Like my neck
Mhm.
in particular,
Mm.
if I move it, it cracks a lot and it feels like
Yeah.
it's weak. just a lot of
Yep.
weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like my body can't support itself anymore. Even when I'm walking, like my gait is different. When I go to the gym and work out, I just
Mm.
feel like I don't have the same support as I once had. I'm not sure if you experienced that yourself, but I do understand where you're coming from. And it makes it more isolating too, because you could have these breakdowns at work, or when you're in social situations and nobody understands. Nobody gets this, and you can try to explain it all you want, but it makes it that much more isolating. Um, just out of curiosity, have you talked to any other women who have PFS?
I have.
Yeah,
Yeah, primarily on Reddit.
yeah,
They they're getting it from different things.
sure,
So far, I've I'm the only person that I've encountered that I've encountered. I'm the only one that I know of that's gotten it specifically from finasteride.
okay,
There is a woman that has it just from reading her comments and posts. She has it from dutasteride and finasteride,
yeah,
though I have not made contact with her.
sure, sure,
Um, but yeah, it is very scary being so isolated. So my loved ones, like my friends, they are wondering if it's like made up. They're kind of
mm,
like, a couple of them are just kind of like, it's people have a hard time believing it, especially
yeah,
doctors have absolutely no clue and
mm,
they sort of look at you like you're crazy,
yeah. Yeah, that was
you
actually gonna be
know?
one of my questions here was, yeah, what has your experience been with clinicians when you've gone there?
So I went to the same dermatology office um, and spoke to the head dermatologist there and
Mhm.
just was like, "Do you remember seeing me a few months ago?" And he's like, "I think so." And I said, "Okay, well, I look totally different now, and
Mhm.
this is really affecting my health." And I
Mhm.
did like a pull test, and like 50 hairs fell out. And I was like, "You're aware that hair loss meds can have these side effects?" And he said, "I'd never heard of this. I have
Mm,
no idea what post-finasteride syndrome is. I've
mhm.
never heard of the dread shed. I've
Yeah,
never heard of any side effects that don't stop as soon as you stop taking it. So
yeah,
I'm going to refer you to USC, University of Southern California,
okay,
research so that they could do something there."
yeah.
But then my insurance ended. So, but yeah, he at least was willing to refer me,
Try to
right?
help a little bit, do something about it at
Mm-hmm.
least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I experienced almost rapid hair loss after I came off finasteride. My hair loss was very minimal. And then when I came off
Right.
6 months later, I couldn't believe how much density I had lost. And trust me, that
Yeah.
was the least of my worries at the time. But it's like it's so ironic that you take this medication for hair loss, only to experience more hair loss when you come off it. I don't know if that's normal, but that was one of the things I noticed. And you also mentioned too, I mean, nobody really believes you around you. I mean, has your family seen the physical changes that you've experienced? I mean, whether it's with your face or your skin or anything else?
My mother does. She
Okay.
she she knows. She can tell.
Yeah.
Some of my friends can tell, but they will Google post-finasteride syndrome and they don't see the facial changes, so they're kind of not sure what it is. And
Yeah.
then also, it's really difficult when you're going through this disease, especially during the beginning, to
Mhm.
not become obsessive and
Yeah.
to just it can consume your life.
Yeah.
And so those around you are exposed to that, and
Mhm.
it in their defense it really does present as like mental illness, like
Sure.
you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
losing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And it's the thing is, it's so invasive in every aspect of your life. For me, I have severe insomnia, so I can't even sleep my way out of this. I can't even get relief with that. When I'm talking to people, my voice is different. My voice is higher pitched now than what it used to be. The way I interact with people, I don't have the same personality. I mean, there's just all these different things. No matter what I do, when I go to the gym and I work out, and my joints are clicking, and I feel weaker and I feel more fatigued. There's like no escape from this. And I don't think people realize just how detrimental that is for your entire life. I mean, it's not like it affects just one aspect of your life. It affects every aspect of your life. So I really do get that. Um, so I guess my next question is, how has this ultimately impacted your life?
Well, it has impacted it very significantly in a negative
Mhm.
way. I think my quality of life has diminished probably by like 60-70%.
Sure.
It's the anhedonia is pretty bad.
Yeah.
The inability to find pleasure in anything. typical depressive symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, I stopped going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going every day. That was a really big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So just really just giving up, just
Yeah.
sort of succumbing to like hopelessness.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I trust
Yeah.
me, Cassie. I get that. I mean, you seem like you were a very motivated person before all this. You had a great career.
Yeah.
You were ambitious. You loved to go to the gym, work out. I'm assuming you were probably very social as well.
Oh
And all
yeah, I'm
that
still
comes,
social, but it's
yeah, yeah,
not as
yeah.
much.
No, I get that. It all kind of comes crashing down around you though. And, again, how do you convey this to people who aren't going through this? I completely understand. Yeah, just bear with me here. I'm going through the questions here. Yeah, so you said your friends and family don't understand. Obviously, your mom believes you. She can see the
Hmm.
changes. Do any of your friends see the changes in your personality or your physique or anything like that?
Yes, they do see the changes physically and attribute it to stress and weight
Okay.
gain.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a coincidence that I got out of an 11-year marriage, kind of just like when this all started happening.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately, there's like, it can seem really like that took the entire toll.
Sure.
But I know that that's not the case at all.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, I mean, losing your marriage doesn't result in loose skin either. I've had people,
Exactly.
I've had people try to
Yes.
pull that card on me. Oh, you're just under stress. Well, look at my skin. I can pull it, 3 inches away from my arm here. That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense, obviously. Even with
Yeah.
my facial changes, it's like, yeah, if I'm going through stress, my face isn't supposed to thin out the way it has, especially when, initially I lost weight, but I've since gained that weight back and my face hasn't retained its original structure. So everybody wants to always attribute it to something else. And I think you made a good point too. I'm more than happy to acknowledge the fact that people can take finasteride without having any issues. It seems like it's a subset of people who take it, who develop these issues. But just because one person has an experience where, everything's going great doesn't mean somebody else who takes the medication isn't going to have some type of detrimental side effect or side effects with it. So it's just, it's tough. And then you go to doctors and, they say, I've been prescribing this for years and I haven't had any patients report this. I also wonder too, if how many people have taken finasteride, even like you did for short term, right? For maybe 6 weeks, came off the medication. 3 months later, they develop all these new health issues and they don't assume that any of these health issues have to do with finasteride itself. When in reality, it does. I think we have a lot more people out there who are experiencing long-term health issues who just haven't connected it to the medication. It's wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a real lack of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really hard to measure something like aging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's really, and I think that it's known, but they just get away with it, these companies that sell it.
Yeah. I do too. I don't think they're documenting these situations properly, to be honest with you. When somebody comes in, they say they're dealing with this. I don't think they're filing a report to the FDA. I don't think they're documenting it. I think they just say, well, it's got to be something else. And it's just the paper trail sort of ends there, Yeah, no, my heart goes out to you, Cassie. I really am sorry you're going through this. I am curious. I mean, what made you decide to tell your story?
Oh, I've been very vocal about it for a while.
Yeah,
Just desperate. Wanting to connect with other people.
of course.
Um, yeah, just definitely wanting to being just messaging people like, hey, my skin won't heal at all. I've got bruises everywhere. Does
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else have these symptoms? Am I alone?
Sure,
Am I dying? You
sure.
know,
Yeah,
just needing to reach out and see what's going on.
yeah. I hope this channel here has kind of given you a little bit of hope and has made you feel less alone. I've been really happy with seeing how much it's grown over the past 2.5 years. We have a lot of people speaking out right now. I had another guy that reached out to me yesterday who may want to go public about this. Kind of a similar story. He didn't know anything about post-finasteride syndrome, took the drug, started losing muscle, developing muscle wastage, severe cognitive issues, didn't even connect it to the drug. And that's pretty much the story for everybody. And I'm sure you've probably heard of the dreaded nocebo effect. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that,
Yes.
but you knew this is going to
Yeah.
happen. So what happened? I didn't think for a frickin' second any of these things could happen to me. It's gaslighting at its best is what it is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Cassie, hey, I really appreciate your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time here. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to tell the audience before we hop off?
Just, I definitely don't ever want to say don't trust your doctors, but I think it is worth it to always get a second opinion.
Sure.
Get a second opinion, do a lot of your own research. Don't blindly go into things without vetting everything first, and then weigh the pros and cons. Definitely, I feel like there's a culture where, because they are professionals, we just give them total and complete trust.
Yep.
And you can trust your doctor, but you really have to do a lot of your own research. And yeah.
Yeah, do your own due diligence. I mean, well said. Even for me, I was doing my research back in 2021. Well, 2020, I took it in early 2021. I didn't see anything on the internet about any of this kind of stuff, to be honest with you. I mean, the worst thing I heard about were potential sexual issues, which would go away upon cessation of the drug. Didn't hear anything about, muscle wastage, facial changes, lipoatrophy, joint issues, voice changes, cognitive dysfunction. I mean, the list goes on, obviously. And I think I want to highlight too, what makes your story so important is that PFS does happen to women. It's not just men. And I've talked to several women over the past couple of years who have gotten this. I think we don't hear about it as much because finasteride isn't as commonly prescribed to women. It's becoming more so now, but I don't think you have as many women taking the drug as you do men. So I think your testimonial is really important. So I really appreciate you coming on the channel, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.